Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's Tuesday. How are you? I hope I'm okay on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Come on in. I'm Christy-Faith. Let's talk homeschooling tonight. How are you guys? Is Jules here? Hi, everybody. Hello, Stacy. Jules, you are here. Jules, talk to me. How are you feeling? How's your body? I want to know. Good. I'm so glad you're doing okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm Christy-Faith. I'm here to answer all things education, particularly homeschooling. I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight. Come on in. I'd love to know. Okay, yeah, you're still pretty sore. Yeah, Jules was in a car accident. I'm so sorry, but I think she's going to be okay. Come in, you guys. Let me know what you know what? Let's share a homeschool win. Let's start on a positive note tonight. It certainly would encourage me. We've made some big changes in our homeschool in the past couple of weeks, some good changes. One thing that is so super important to know about homeschooling is, and I was at a mom's group the other night. It was a homeschool moms night, like a hangout with a bunch of moms. And the moms were joking because one mom said, "Oh man, when I started homeschooling, I just thought I'd pick the curriculum and then that's it." And then everyone started just laughing out loud because that is the opposite. That's what school is. That's what we think of when we think of homeschooling our kids, when we don't know anything outside of the system. But the reality is that homeschooling is, by definition, adapting, changing, being a student of your child, learning your child, making changes, making adjustments, even changing curriculum. Not every day, but it's the point, right? So it's interesting that we think we can leave the system and then just, oh, hi. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Jules, I'll get back to that. It's interesting that we just view homeschooling as let's just set them up and go. And that's totally not the case, but it's actually, okay, so let me backtrack. I used to feel like a failure when I was a brand new homeschool mom because I was having to make changes. I thought I was making bad curriculum decisions or I wasn't reading my kid well or anything. And it took me a couple years in. So if you don't hear anything tonight, I want you to hear this. It took me a couple years in to realize, no, this actually makes me a good homeschool mom. The fact that I am adapting, changing, studying my kids, figuring out what's best, figuring out their learning styles, and adapting and changing what I am doing in their education to better suit them, to make sure they fall in love with learning and that they're learning what I want them to learn. So anyway, I know we have questions coming in, but Jules was asking what?
Yeah, we got a few questions coming
Okay.
in. Kay says,
Hi, Kay.
she had a win. She needed to redirect and remember my why.
Okay, are you in my group? See, sometimes I can't connect the usernames. Did you go to the Finding My Why workshop?
She said God priority, then everything else. And then how would you mentally deal with being alone in homeschooling? No families in my area to do it.
Oh, there's no families at all? Okay, so first off, I believe you. I believe you. But if you have not tried going on the Blue app with an F and Googling or searching for every single homeschool group you can find, because I'm telling you this, I hear, which this might not be the case for you. I am not discounting what you're saying. I absolutely believe you. But in addition, I hear this all the time. I live in a rural area. There's no homeschoolers around me ever. I tell people to get on Facebook. I'll just say it. And sure enough, people come out of the woodwork. So maybe you've already done that. I'm going to answer the question that you've already done that. You've already gone on Facebook, Google, or searched for homeschoolers in my area, homeschoolers of preschoolers, homeschoolers in my county, homeschoolers in my zip code, homeschoolers, like all of it, like 20 different searches, and nothing comes up. there are ways that you can find community for yourself and for your children. So let's start with your children. I would highly suggest enrolling in some live online classes for sure. I would get in touch with people that maybe are farther away, like your nearest large city, and then join those homeschooling groups, because maybe once a month you can drive into town or drive somewhere to meet up with, which is something that you could do maybe once or twice a month. So anyway, live online classes are great if you don't have any co-ops or anything, but community is really important. And for you need community and support too. That's why, one of the reasons, there was a lot of reasons why I started Thrive, but that is one of the reasons. Do we have Thrive members in here tonight? I know Jules is here. And then someone I think took the Finding My Why workshop, which, by the way, you put it up for sale yesterday, right? You don't have to join my group to take that workshop. Every homeschool mom needs to know her why. If you don't know your why, take that workshop. You don't have to join my group. You can just buy the workshop right off of my website, okay? So, oh, hi! Yay, my friends are here. Yay. Stacy, our Thrive party planner, is here tonight. She throws really good parties for us.
Soulful Odyssey says, I found homeschooling harder as the kids got into middle school, high school,
yes,
especially high school.
Yes. Homeschooling can get harder. You know what gets harder in the older years is a lot of the social stuff. That can get pretty challenging. Regarding the academics, most of us, which I have already started, we start outsourcing, right? We start, like, my kids take their foreign language. I outsource that. We just started a different math program, CTC Math program, with my oldest. We kind of just graduated the previous program that we were in. If you guys haven't tried CTC Math, it's really, really good. I love it. Yeah, but I would agree with you. There are different challenges. In my community, we have a special little group just for moms homeschooling teens, and we have an office hours once a month just for you guys. This whole week in my community, we're doing office hours, and they're all split up by kids' ages. So tomorrow is elementary ages, then Thursday we have like preschool to second grade, teens, and then of course I do evening Zooms for those moms like me who work. And the evening Zooms are for all ages. So we have mentors on there, and I'm on there too. If you have any questions about my community, go ahead and ask. But let's go ahead and move on to homeschooling questions or education questions or anything.
Adriana Flores says, how do I homeschool then if I'm a working mom?
Yeah, so Adriana, I don't know what your work schedule is. I work full-time, and I homeschool 4 kids. My husband and I both work from home, and we have flexible hours. So it certainly is possible. I feel like my neighbors are. Yeah. My neighbors can see me. Let's close the door. So I was a little bit hot, but I have my iced coffee. The question is, okay, so about the homeschooling when you're working. It really depends on your particular situation, how much support you have, how old are your kids, are you working inside the home or outside of the home, do you have a spouse that works inside the home or outside of the home, do you have family around you who can come and support you? So there are a lot of factors that come into play when you are working and homeschooling. But this is what I will say, is we all have one thing in common, us working homeschool moms. We are creative. And where there's a will, there's a way, and we make it work. So, I mean, right now I'm in a season, I'm writing a book right now, but we're in a season where I have to wake up at 4:45. It's not going to be forever. I have a book deadline. But that's what I'm doing right now. But I wouldn't change anything for the world because I still want to be available to be with my kiddos. So, okay.
Cindy Cruz says, love your content. Keep it coming.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate that. Tyler! Hello.
Oh, we have Sunshine. I was homeschooled my whole life, and I'm graduating this year.
Oh, we have good. Will you come in the comments, Sunshine? Will you come in and just share your experience? What style were you homeschooled in? What curriculum are you using? Are you doing a mix? Please come in the comments.
I saw your post about SAT. Where you suggest we start studying freshman?
Oh, yeah, I certainly would start as a freshman, and I really like College Prep Genius. Someone can write that in the comments. I think Jean, I asked her last week for a coupon code. So maybe, and I think she was going to give me one. But I have a Voxer that reminds me I have a Voxer from her that I haven't listened to. So go to College Prep Genius, email them, tell them, Christy's sending me. They will give you a discount. And if they don't, I'll come after them. Jean's really great. Yeah. College Prep Genius. I'm going to try to get her into my community to do a talk on preparing kids adequately for college. So,
Christy, do we have a workshop on creating a routine rhythm schedule?
Yeah, so that's on. So when, Jules, remember when we polled the group to ask for their interest in what types of workshops that people wanted? That came in, I believe, in the top 10. So that will not be coming in like the near future. It won't be coming like this month or next month, but we are doing everything that came in the top 10. We are doing. My group is very much a group where you speak, I listen, I deliver. This group is for you. I am here to serve you guys and to give you what you need. So anyway, that's why we started off right away with some heavy hitting stuff like curriculum overwhelm, what to do with curriculum overwhelm, and then also finding your homeschool why. That workshop was so life-giving for me to make, to deliver. I felt like it really made a difference in a lot of mamas' lives. So if you want to check out that workshop, you can go on my website and just get it and download it, or you can join my group and get it free.
Over on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Cindy asks, how do you teach a kindergartner to read?
Okay, Cindy, how do you teach a kindergartner to read? And Cindy is over on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. It's good to see you tonight. So you really want to use an Orton-Gillingham-based method to teach your child to read. And there are several programs that do that. One is All About Reading, or it's All About Learning Press, and one of their programs is All About Reading. Also, Rooted in Language, they have a program called Pinwheels, and someone can write this in the comments. And then also Logic of English. You cannot go wrong with any of those three. You will give your kid a solid reading foundation. So we used to be hired to shore up gaps. Parents would come to us and they're like, the school just told me my third grader can't read. What do we do? This is what we did. We did Orton-Gillingham. We went back. We remediated. Within months, we got these kids up to speed. And what I learned in that whole process of doing that is that all kids should be learning to read with phonics-based instruction, not the language-based, which is very popular in progressive schools. And what that means is sight words, we don't need sight words. My kids are grade levels ahead of where they should be. I've never once, not even once, given them a sight word. Do you guys hear one of them crying? Should we check? Is she okay?
It's just bickering.
It's bickering? Okay. Maybe they'll work it out. Uh-oh. Okay. Scott might have to go in a second. I'll stay. I'll stay.
I did a mix of curriculums as well as some online community college classes this year.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so this is our high schooler who's graduating. Awesome. Did you do dual enrollment so you have your AA or you're close to your AA? What's so amazing about homeschooling, you guys, is a lot of homeschoolers graduate with quite a few college credits under their belt.
Kayla says,
hi, Kayla.
All About Reading has taught me so much alongside that.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yes, All About Reading. Uh-huh. I've been emailing back and forth with them this week, trying to get a good discount for us.
How do you motivate the unmotivated child?
How do you motivate the unmotivated child? This is such a good question, you guys. Who has children that are struggling with motivation right now? Like, why can't this kid work? What's wrong? I'm going crazy. I'm tearing my hair out. Oh my goodness, will this kid ever get into college? Will this kid end up in prison? I mean, come on. I know the thoughts have crossed your mind. So one thing that I want to share, I am doing a workshop. Jules, this did come up in the top 10. We are doing a workshop in Thrive on lack of motivation. What do you do with an unmotivated child? The one thing, I can't go into all of it right now, but what's really important to know about kids who are not motivated is that they are motivated, but they're just not motivated in what we want them to be motivated in. And lack of motivation is a form of resistance. Now, I want to repeat that. Lack of motivation is a form of resistance. So it's our job to figure out why exactly our children are resistant to learning a particular thing or a particular way. It could be, as quite frankly, they could have eye tracking issues. There could be an undiagnosed learning challenge. There could be language processing. They could be struggling with their reading. So there are lots of learning and mechanical reasons why a kid is unmotivated, that work would just be really hard. There are kids that look at a big page and just experience overwhelm, where you just have to break up the pages. So talking to your children, you'd be surprised at what a young age kids can really understand and be able to communicate, or that we're at least able to decipher. So another reason why kids can lack motivation is perfectionism. Our society really struggles with perfectionism because we are a performance-based society. If you have a child that struggles with perfectionism, it's so important that you start praising those soft skills. Who knows what soft skills are? You can come in and say, what are your favorite soft skills? Or what soft skills right now are you working on with your kids that you really want them to grow in, right? So soft skills it's one of the benefits of homeschooling, because we can really focus and hone in on things like effort, things that are repeatable, not praising results. So for example, we learned pretty early in our educational career to never praise a child for a result or for innate ability. So like, we don't say, you're so smart, or you're too smart, you should be doing better. Nothing like that. You praise a kid. If you want better results, you praise a kid for what is repeatable and what is within their control. A child cannot control if they get an A on every test. They just can't. Even though they try, they'll fall into the trap of perfectionism. Okay. And so that's something to be really mindful of and careful with our kids. If they fall into perfectionism, it can really be toxic and foster some toxic beliefs later in their life. So nipping that in the bud is really great. Unfortunately, our school system breeds this because we are a system of grades. And everything is based on performance. And you even hear it at parties. Oh, my kid's a great kid. He gets straight A's, like equivalating great kid with straight A's. That sounds absurd, but I literally hear that like in my circles all the time. My kid's a great kid. He gets straight A's, or he's on honor roll every time. He's a great kid. I'm not worried about him, right? Well, that kid might be cripplingly depressed, full of anxiety, right? You also may need a curriculum change if your kid is really unmotivated. You might need a season of deschooling or some interest-led learning. There's lots of things that you can do, but the main thing is kids are motivated, so find what does motivate them and lean into that. Lean into that. Make them feel seen and heard. Connect with them. That's the most important thing, so that they will open up to you. You need to make sure you are a safe place for them. And the last thing that I want to say about freaking out over a kid who's not motivated is we need to have our own anxieties in check. Think of who you were in 7th grade and 8th grade. Are you anything like that person now? No. Did you end up okay? Probably, right? Or maybe not. We're all a little bit messed up. But my point is, do not look at a snapshot of a kid, especially in junior high, and think, this kid's never going to have a future. It's just not true. And we cannot make a kid progress faster than his or her brain allows. So there's so much to say on this topic. I wonder if I'm going to have to do a 2-part series in the membership. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that helps. Yeah. All right.
Mrs. Torres asked, can we do a workshop on ADHD, ASD?
You know what? That didn't come in the top 10, but let me write that down. I actually have my... Yes.
And then somebody, my son is struggling with spelling, writing. sixth grader here and homeschooled. Any suggestions, please?
Wait, I was just writing down the ADHD, ASD. Okay. Wait, can you ask that again?
My son is struggling with spelling, writing. Sixth grader, homeschooled. Any suggestions, please?
Okay, sixth grader struggling with spelling and writing. 1, completely normal, to be expected, no worries at all. Just so you know, I don't have any red flags about that yet, okay? So one thing I don't know what writing program you have your child in. Do you mind sharing what program you're in with your sixth grader? I'd love to know. And then sometimes there's different strategies that you can do when a kid is really struggling to write. You can have the kid dictate to you and you type it out or you write it to see how well they're synthesizing their thoughts. The writing process is actually a really difficult process for the brain to do, and sometimes kids just really aren't ready. So if they are able to narrate what they have read, which is a retelling, like a summary, narrate what they have been reading, if they're able to have really nice thoughts, praise them for those ideas, those thoughts, that critical thinking, have them dictate, write out what they've written, and then show them and have them read and start building their confidence in that way. That's just one little tip. There's a lot more because writing is a very complicated thing, but it is very normal for that to come later than we want. That's one area where our schools push kids way too early. So
Kate has a question. What's your advice for improving reading comprehension with a child who has ADHD?
Yes. Okay. So if your child is struggling with reading comprehension, whether they have ADHD or not, my advice is the same, and that is work on concept visualization. So a program that does this beautifully, and I don't know how severe your concerns are, is Lindamood Bell. And someone can write that, Lindamood-Bell. But we used to do their program. Kids would come to us that had no concept visualization at all. And so what that means is that when you're not comprehending your reading, what's actually happening is your brain is not able to make a movie in your head. Did you know that's what comprehension is? That's what we're doing when we are reading. We are making a little movie in our head. We see it. We see it with our mind's eye. That's what comprehension is. For most people, it clicks. But for a lot of people, it never does. And so this is why you have adults that don't really enjoy reading. It's because they never got that skill, that connection of concept visualization. The program Lindamood Bell works wonders. Kids can jump grade levels in a matter of 2-3 months. I saw it with my own eyes. I used to test them before, put them through the program, test them after, and it was like miraculous. So if you're struggling with your child not comprehending and you're starting to get concerned, this is something that if you want a child who loves reading, you got to get on top of it. So Lindamood Bell.
That's Melania. Or Melina.
Yeah.
Can I use Lindamood Bell with my husband? Says Rosa.
Yes, Rosa. Yes, you can. Hey, any kids here tonight that I can say hi to? I'd love to know.
Seventh grader looking at struggling with math. Any suggestions?
7th graders struggling with math. What curriculum are you in? Don't put me in the hot seat. Just tell me what curriculum you're in. I'm not going to make a comment about it.
Melena.
We'll wait.
Sorry, Melena.
Melena. Oh my goodness. She had to spell it in all caps for you.
She said it's fine.
We should be embarrassed of ourselves. Yeah.
Well,
I do want to know what math. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. I'm Christy-Faith. We're talking all things homeschooling.
Saxon.
Okay, girl. What is her name? My bestie. Jennifer. Okay, I didn't want to be in the hot seat. I said, don't put me in the hot seat. You guys. Okay. Ugh! No one. Okay. All right. Saxon is not my favorite math program. And we have reasons. Scott ran our entire math department. He has taught every math curriculum out there. I know Saxon is very popular, and Saxon is very popular in certain circles of homeschooling. Oh, who wants love? Stephen. Stefan! Hi, Stefan! How are you? How are you tonight? It's so good to see you, Stefan. How was your school day today? I want to know. All right, let's get back to Saxon. So, what Saxon focuses on is the execution of the math. It's not really strong in the math sense, meaning like a real solid conceptual understanding of math. It's really great at teaching kids procedure. It's very popular in the homeschooling circles. If you were homeschooled yourself in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, you probably went through Saxon and you probably have trauma. So we have a in the Thrive group on April 5th, we have a whole panel of adults who were homeschooled, and I cannot wait. I'm like, I'm going to say, of course we have an unschooler in there, but I'm going to say, raise your hand if you were raised on Saxon math. So anyway, I really want you to look at CTC Math. CTC Math is wonderful for gifted learners and also learners who struggle a little bit and need to work at their own pace. It is excellent. It is a computer-based math program, and it is really priced fairly. They love homeschool families. So they have like a price for the first student, and then all the other students, it's just like a family price. They also have a money back guarantee that's 12 months. So give that a shot. There's a free trial. So just give it a shot. But if your kid is really struggling with math and not thriving, I would give that a shot. And I'm giving you permission to leave Saxon. Your child will not get into college if you don't use Saxon. And you're going to have your friends who are like obsessed with Saxon and Saxon's the only way. No, Saxon's not the only way. I promise. So, you guys, can I just share personally, I struggle with like what to say and not say. Like I want to share my real feelings about certain programs. But I also don't want to be mean, and I don't want to throw brands under the bus. Like I don't want to, because will a kid go through Saxon and get a decent math education if they thrive with Saxon? Of course they will. So I don't want you to think that I'm being not brave. I mean, trust me, I get attacked every day. But this is an area that I really struggle in. Like, how far can I go with what I really feel about a brand or a particular curriculum with not being, because it could very well be a fit for somebody, right? Or somebody could love it, or it could be a fit. And I would hate to, anyway, it's a tough place for me. So I'm always honest. So, I mean, with any curriculum, I would tell a mom that maybe she needs a curriculum change. Even if it's a curriculum that I use and love, I absolutely would tell her that. So, anyway, I'm asking for a little grace, because it's not that I'm not brave. It's not that I, want to be super diplomatic. It's not that way at all. It's that I just don't want to be a mean person, a mean influencer, Yeah.
Jazzy has a great question, but Abby,
Okay.
First.
Okay.
What do you recommend starting out homeschooling with kindergarten and first grade?
Like what curriculum, or?
What does she recommend?
Okay, starting out with, okay, if you are just starting out, grab my 26-page free How to Homeschool guide. That's totally free, and it gets you on the road on how to do this legally. It even gives you ideas for how much time it takes for each grade level. If you're just starting out in homeschooling, I'm going to personally invite you into my group. We have a special little cohort of office hours were just for other moms with kids your same age, where I'm teaching all of you guys how to homeschool, what curriculum to look at, what are the highest priorities. If you're struggling, you can ask us. So I want to start there, and just remember that homeschooling, preschool, kindergarten, first grade, it's really done in about an hour. It doesn't take that much time. You really want reading readiness, math readiness, and then you want to read out loud and then go play. You want to go play. So.
All right. And then Josie asks, I just had a cousin of mine comment, just put him in public. I went to college to be a teacher. Help.
Oh my goodness. Josie?
Yeah.
Oh, why were you sharing? The worst is when a homeschool mom shares like, oh, I had a really stressful week. And like the one thing everyone goes to is just put him in school, just put him in school. It's like telling, you know what it's like? It's like telling someone who's in a happy marriage and you go over to their house and you're like, oh, we're just not seeing eye to eye on this particular thing. And then the person goes, divorce, just divorce him. When you tell a homeschool mom who loves homeschooling and is doing it for a really good purpose, that's like telling a mom to get a divorce or telling a woman to get a divorce. When she's in a happy marriage and there's no reason to divorce. You can have disagreements. You can have a hard week. You can have moments where you're trying to figure things out and not seeing eye to eye. I wish people would just stop with that. It's annoying, isn't it? Let me put my hair in a pony.
Abby says thank you. They're not in public school this year, and it has not been beneficial for them at all.
Yeah. Are you gonna pull them out? Yeah. That's much better.
Says, my first disappointment that it was family. Second, anger, because I know my kids.
Yeah, you know your kids.
I was proud to share on private Facebook and the stab was hard to hear.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. What did you say? I'd love to know. And has anyone else had a family member where you shared something that was a little bit of a struggle and they just jumped to just pull him, put him in school? I'd love to hear if that's happened to you and what you said.
Malena.
Yes?
Malena. How do you feel about homeschooling kiddos with IEPs or those receiving extra services?
Malena, I have strong feelings about homeschooling kids with IEPs. I think if your child is on an IEP or has been diagnosed with special needs, that alone is a reason to consider homeschooling. Never in my entire career, and I read IEPs every day, never once, not once, did a mom ever come into my office and say, yeah, my kid's on an IEP and things are going really well. Not once. I have never met a mother who was happy with her kid's IEP and how it was being implemented. Why? Because they can't be implemented. They literally can't. The system is designed to educate kids in one way, and then we've created this separate system that if you don't fit into that box, you're now diagnosed and labeled and you're over here, but everything we're doing over here is to make you fall into line over here again. And these kids are just differently wired and they're not meant to learn that way. So there is nothing on the back of an IEP that you can't do. What's on the back of an IEP? Extra time on tests, quiet work environment, frequent breaks, yada, all those, they're literally describing what you can do homeschooling. Now, the exception is, this is the hang up, the exception is special services, right? Like therapies, speech therapy, occupational therapy, social groups, and stuff like that. Those can be part of the plan, and of course, those are not what you can do at home on an IEP, but there are other ways that you can still get those, like through your doctor, through your pediatrician, to try to get those things covered by insurance. But let me just say, I'm not going to say this as like this is true, but if you go into subgroups of moms who they've pulled their kids because their kids are on IEP and they're now homeschooling their kids, you're going to hear over and over and over again how their kid is thriving, loving learning, loving school. just how much of a complete game changer and how homeschooling has saved their family and saved their kid. So, yes, very strong feelings about homeschooling kids on IEPs. Yeah. A hill I will die on.
Carrie Ski, what's your opinion on a full-time working parent and homeschooling?
Yeah.
I'm very interested.
I am a full-time working parent and homeschooling, but I work from home and I have flexible hours. And so I wake up before my kids are up. I work for 2 hours. Then I homeschool. Then in the afternoon, I work several hours. And then I work every evening. So I don't know if you work outside of the home. That's the tricky thing. So it all depends on how old your kids are, how much support you have. Do you work outside of the home? Does your spouse work outside of the home? All of those things. If you have little kids, you have to arrange childcare, right? If you're working outside of the home. So there's a lot of factors. It looks different for everybody. But one thing we all have in common is all working homeschool parents. We really think outside of the box. We get creative. We buy curriculum that's open and go, right? We're not planning lessons. You don't have to plan lessons if you're a homeschooler. We do hybrid stuff. Like you can do cottage schools. You can do drop-off days. Like the local school near us, they have a homeschool program where you can drop your kid off 2 days a week and then you homeschool the child the other 3 days. There's all sorts of programs like that out there. So just broaden your horizons, get online, start researching all the things that you can do to see if it can work. And you know what? It might not work. It might not work right now. It might be something that you work towards in the next year or two if it's something that you're really passionate about and really want to do. So but it does look different for absolutely everybody. Yeah.
Meg Pearl says, what about homeschooling with 4 kids?
Yeah.
At home with 2 with IEPs?
Yes, I homeschool 4. I don't know what their IEPs are. So the thing about IEPs is look at the back. Look at what they're doing on the IEP. What does it say on there? Probably a quiet place to work, extra time on tests, that type of a thing, which is everything that you can do. Right? And if there's certain areas that your kid is struggling in, there's certainly curricula that you can use and adapt that will work better for them than what they're getting in the schools. Remember, when you enroll your kid in any school, even a private school, you do not get to choose the curriculum that fits best for them, nor do you get to choose the teacher that's going to be a better personality fit than maybe somebody else. So, but the opportunities are endless when you homeschool, and there are curriculum companies left and right have divisions for special needs, all sorts of things. So, yeah.
Tell me about your group.
Oh, I'd love to tell you about my group, Thrive Homeschool Community. Who's in it? Say if you're in it and say if you like it. I know. Double dog dare you. No, my community is Thrive Homeschool Community. I created it because I needed to make an affordable way to help you guys, to help you with what I do best, which is what I've done my entire career is I trained teachers. And so I still do. I just train you. So my community is pretty amazing. We have workshops every single month where we're learning and growing. It's not a social club. That's not what you're joining. Like, this is people on the growth plan. This is people that we like to think about ideas. We like to be challenged. We like to be a better homeschool mom tomorrow than we were today. We don't mind being vulnerable and letting people know when we have hard days so that we can get encouragement. So this whole week we have office hours that are all split up into ages. So tomorrow I have elementary office hours, and then Thursday we have office hours for preschoolers through 2nd grade, then office hours for teens, and I always have evening Zooms for us working moms. The evening Zooms are cool. They're really chill. It feels like calming, those evening Zooms. We also have discussion groups with each other where you really get to bond and connect. I've hired mentors to come in there and help you guys in all their areas of specialty. So you can ask me more questions, but check it out. And if you want to join, you can be on a Zoom with me tomorrow.
My daughter has ADHD and wasn't doing well in school. She is grades above now being homeschooled.
I love that. Who is that? That's wonderful.
I don't know. I can't see the name. But that's awesome. Thoughts on moving beyond the page curriculum for ELA?
Yeah, I have not used Beyond the Page. I have heard of it. I have not used it. I have not even cracked it open. I have not even visited their website and looked at samples. So sorry if anyone else in here, which is surprising because I know pretty intimately most curricula out there. But all I can tell you about that one is that I have heard of it. I've heard the name. Anyone in here who's used that one? Do we have another question?
Nobody yet. Yeah. No,
Okay.
Okay, great. Let's see. You can get therapies at a charter school while homeschooling.
Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. It does depend on the state. Mm-hmm.
Right. Great. Oh, Sunshine's still here. I was homeschooled because of learning disabilities, and I loved getting to learn at my own pace.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. So your firsthand experience is that homeschooling was really great for you because you had special needs, which is so true. Why all the hearts? I love all these hearts.
Andrea, homeschooling without community is hard. Any advice?
Yes, homeschooling without community is really hard. So I don't know if you were here earlier, but there was someone else who homeschools in a really rural area. The first thing I'm going to say is, one, I totally believe you. I totally believe you. But I want to make sure that you have gone on Facebook and you have literally searched high and low for homeschoolers in your state, in your county, homeschoolers in your zip code, homeschoolers in your city, homeschoolers in your nearest city, turned over every rock, because what often happens is homeschoolers come out of the woodwork. Okay, so there's that first. But then I'm going to answer your question, assuming, and that's mainly for other people to hear too, in case they live in a rural area and they're like, I don't know anybody. Well, they do come out of the woodwork when you get on Facebook and try to find them. So the next thing I would say is try to join groups of your nearest city, even if it's an hour away, because that's something that you could drive to twice a month, maybe. I don't know, but you could still join them and have community. The next thing that I would say is try to enroll in some live online classes that are Zoom classes. My kids have friends all over the world because of that. And of course, you're probably still doing your kids don't need to have only homeschool friends, right? My kids, their friends are all over the neighborhood. My kids, they do all the sports. We're in a theater, we're in football, we're in basketball, we're in dance, all those things. So that counts. It's nice when our kids have other friends who are also homeschooled, but sometimes it's okay if those friends are over Zoom and not really necessarily in person. And you know what? It's always seasons, because people come and go. People might come into your life that are homeschooling right down the street. So it's just something to keep looking at, keep trying to search, keep trying to find other people.
Yeah. Andrea says there's a community, but we're not welcome due to our religious beliefs.
Oh, isn't that awful? Well, you're welcome in my group. We're non-sectarian. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah. I had a similar experience, that because I work, I was not welcome in a community because I could not do the required, what they were requiring of the parents. So they're like, sorry, you can't join. So it's hard to be rejected. But consider my community, because at least for you need community too. And we are non-sectarian, which means we are not a religious group, but we are also not a secular group. So you are welcome to be who you are and to have your worldview and to share your worldview with no shame or embarrassment. So it's not a group to join. If you are a person who maybe is an atheist and religious people annoy you, I'm not the group for you. And if you are a religious person where secular comments or atheist comments annoy you, I'm not the group for you, because I want everyone to share and be comfortable with who they are and to have a safe forum, because we do have so much in common in our group. We all want to be the best homeschool moms that we can be. And our personal beliefs and worldview is part of that. And we have freedom in our country to educate our kids according to our family values. So we support that in the group. Yes.
Proverbs 31. Tips
I know Proverbs 31.
Tips for helping students memorize multiplication and division tables.
Yes. Yes. Wait, Proverbs 31, are you in my group? Okay. Because I got a coupon code today. I was on a Zoom with Kathy Oxley with Preschool Prep Company. I have been trying to get in touch with her for years. I was like, girl, I love your Meet the Math Facts. I love your phonics. I love all of this. I want coupon code because I'm working on getting coupon codes for my membership. So if you're in my membership, all my coupon codes are going to be, I don't think the one that she today is activated yet, but that's a great program. It's called Preschool Prep Company and Primary Prep Company because they don't just do preschool stuff. They do math facts for the older grades too. So they take a different approach. That's why I love it. It takes a story approach where kids actually retain it. It's great for kids who have special needs.
Yeah. Antoinette, how do you feel about the Timberdoodle kits?
I don't have a Timberdoodle kit. I would love a kit. A company sent me a kit today. It's sitting right there. I haven't opened it. But I have not gotten a kit from Timberdoodle or ordered it.
Brianna,
I'd love to know more.
Brianna says, love listening in. Had a great homeschool day. Kids are in bed and mama is working.
Oh, good. Good. You're like me. The kids get to bed and then you work. I love it.
Melena, showing signs of ADHD. She's not
Yes.
disruptive and I really don't want to medicate.
Yeah. Yeah. So as long as I understand how you're feeling, and I also would be doing everything that I can to avoid medication for sure. And so there are things that you can do. One thing that I'm going to tell you to do tonight to consider is in the subject areas that are don't need to be as rigorous, I would consider doing interest-led. So for history, like, hey, we need to always be studying history, but I'm going to let you choose the era. So do you want to, and generally history is split up into like 4 or 5 eras, depending on what program you're looking at, but right? Like ancient history, medieval history, early modern, right? And so like that's one area. I would definitely, I don't know how old she is, but have a lot of fun with science. Do nature study, journaling, drawing. You can learn so much that way. And do those types of things, interest-led. Read out loud to her a lot. Enjoy schooling. And then I don't know if she's struggling with math, but if she is, I really like CTC for struggling learners and also for gifted learners. And the reason what you're like, what? That makes no sense. The reason why is because it is an intuitive program that adapts as you're working through it. So it's like, oh, this kid got it right. This kid got it right. This kid got it right. Goes to more difficulty, or this kid is struggling, this kid got it wrong. Okay, we need to backtrack and reteach. So that's kind of how that program works. That's why I recommended it for both gifted and I think if you're on my email, make sure to get on my email list, because isn't a deal coming out on my email for them this week?
I think so.
Yeah, get on my email list if you're not on it, because you can get a discount. And then if you're in my Thrive membership, you also get a discount.
People said, what's the name of the program?
CTC. Yeah. So don't buy it yet though, because get on my email list, because this week an email is going out with a special deal that lasts 3 days. Weren't you just emailing him today about it? Yeah. So get on my email list so that you get the deal for that program. Yeah. Okay, pretty soon, you guys.
Sadie over on YouTube. Thoughts on Story of the World from a history major teacher point of view?
Okay, somebody knows my background. Yeah, not a fan. I'm not a... You guys, hot seat. You need to know this about me. I will never tell you to buy a history textbook. I just won't. I consider Story of the World a textbook. I'm sorry. Now, okay. Would I put it on in the car while we're going places for my kids to listen to? Absolutely. Will I use that as my kids' core history curriculum? No, I will not. I want my kids changed. I want my kids asking really hard questions, good questions. I want them learning about human nature. I want them emotionally invested in things that happened in history where they never forget them. I want them reading Corrie ten Boom. I want them to walk a mile in someone else's shoes to truly understand what they were faced with, what it was like to live during that time. And you can really only do that through living books. So although I am not a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, I am absolutely Charlotte Mason-y when it comes to teaching our kids history. So that's my, you asked my opinion. That's my opinion.
Lots of questions about curriculum.
Yeah.
Memory Niche says we do a Becca, but it's slow and book heavy.
Yes.
I lose her because of it.
Yes. So whoever is in here tonight who is on a Becca, that's completely fine. I support all the homeschooling styles, but that is one of 9 styles. And a Becca is what we would call public school at home. So it's really just keeping up with the standards. It's not really doing anything different than what the public schools are doing, except that it is a religious program, but it's still following those standards. So a lot of parents start on a Becca. Most people don't last because you burn out. It's a lot of work. The kids don't like it. And you think, oh, homeschooling's awful. When you don't realize there's 8 other pedagogies out there for homeschooling. There are thousands of curricula options that could breathe life into your family. So before you quit homeschooling and say homeschooling's the pits, I hate it because you bought something like a Becca or you are using something like K-12, which again, public school at home, just look at some of the other styles, the other curricula options, because there is so much out there that is enjoyable and life-giving. Yeah. And if you don't know where to start, of course, this is what we do in the group. We talk curriculum, we give advice. I would be in the DMs asking you more about your daughter. Tell me more what she's struggling with. I would be giving you really specific curriculum recommendations to look at and stuff like that. So if you're curious about my group, you can just get info. You don't have to join. You can just look at it, get the info by clicking the link in my bio. Yeah. So wonderful to see you guys tonight. You guys know where I'm going right now. Every night after a live, you guys know what the routine is in my family. I go and I read my girls fairy tales. It's like a thing. It's what they look forward to when mommy goes on the lives. So yes. So Katie, you can join right with the link in my bio. And if you want to join, you can be on, we'll meet tomorrow on Zoom. You can come to office hours. If you're curious about my community, it is groundbreaking. It's like nothing that is out there, period. So partially because of my background and the way that I have formed the community. So you can check out all the details in my bio and you can join and we can know each other as early as tomorrow. So, all right, I appreciate you guys. I look forward to meeting you on Zoom and seeing all the mamas that I already know. See you tomorrow. Okay, love you. Bye.